Welcome back to Decode Econ. It's Dr. A. Today's newsletter is about the things that I've been reading, specifically trade wars, innovation, and independent voices. And what I have found recently is I've been reading more and more long form content. And frankly, I'm enjoying it. I love short form content, but after a while, you just need some nuance, some data, some reflection, and some depth. So today's newsletter is about some of the content creators that are producing good content that you should engage with. And I also share some of the news that you should be reading. So, for instance, the first thing that I highlight in today's newsletter is the trade wars continue. We talked about this yesterday, but the US China trade conflict has now expanded to ports. Both China and the US are imposing port fees on shipping firms that move goods across countries, from things around crude oil, which will impact your oil prices, to holiday toys. All of these are being impacted by a new trade war policy, port fees. So check out that newsletter. I wanted to write a longer piece about the Nobel economist, but Economic Forces did such a fantastic job on this. So I just share with you their link. I highly recommend that you check that Substack. Speaking about long form content that is enjoyable, that makes you feel smarter and makes you feel like you're learning something new, Economics Forces is something that I highly recommend. And then I also share a great interview between Kai Risdall and Scott Galloway. If you have not checked out this interview, highly recommend it. And the theme of today's newsletter is really influenced by them. And one of the components or one of the parts of their conversation, they talk about how many of the ideas that are shaping their own thinkings, both Scott and Kai, are coming from independent journalists or economists that now have an avenue to share their thoughts. And this is what I love about the world of content creation today. Everybody has a voice, and your job is to add value. So this is what we're trying to do at Decode Econ. We're trying to, carve out a niche in the world of sharing with you current economic events, so you are more aware of the economy and how you can navigate it. Check out that podcast. I link to it in my newsletter. And then finally, we talk about shutdown pressures. The government continues to put pressure on workers and the broader economy. Some federal employees, including military, will miss a paycheck. It is the 14th of October, and the shutdown started on October 1st. So this pay period might be the last pay period for a lot of people. So usually shutdowns start to take a different narrative once paychecks are missed. People stop showing up to work, and we saw that in the 2018 shutdown, if I'm not mistaken, on the date when traffic controllers stopped showing up to work. So today's theme in the newsletter is about the importance of having a voice and following the right people and publications that make you think differently, not necessarily reaffirm what you're thinking about, but let you see the world from a different lens. And we hope that Decode Econ is one of those publications that you follow. At the end of the newsletter, I share with you a podcast that I am recording this Thursday, and I'm inviting you actually to join us on that podcast, so you could be an audience member. But we're going to be talking with Mark Miller, who's a graduate of the Hale College of Business, what is today our Master's in Business Leadership and Innovation program. He graduated in 2018. And he's going to be talking about human leadership in an AI world. We're all grappling with this idea of what happens in an economy where AI is taking over a lot of aspects. There's a lot of investments in AI, and some would argue that the economy is being propped up right now by investments in AI. Mark brings this perspective of the value of human leadership in during these times of innovation and transition. So, if you want to be part of the live virtual recording, there's a link to register for that. Would love to have you there so you could have questions answered and join our community in the graduate programs. This is part of our podcast series called Beyond the Degree. It is our Hail virtual speaker series. I hope you can join us.